I've been crying all morning long. My husband told me that I needed to pack my stuff and get the out the house. So I have my bag and I'm about to start packing. I literally have nowhere to go. So I don't know what I'm gonna do.
To give context as to why she's being kicked out, let's take a look at these next two videos.
So there's a few things that I don't do as a married woman. Number one, I do not cook for my husband. I only cook for my children. My husband will be making his own breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Number two, I do not help him pay any bills. So if he is short on the rent, on utilities, or anything like that, it is not my problem. I will not be helping him out. His job is to provide for his family, so I am not financially contributing to any of the bills. Number three, I do not do his laundry. I have my own laundry and my children's laundry to do, so he could do his own. I won't help him put it away. I won't help him fold anything. That's his responsibility. Number four, he is responsible for replacing any of his essentials like soap, shampoo, anything like that. He needs to go buy it himself. Even if I'm at the store, I will not be replacing it for him. If he needs new underwear, new socks, or anything like that, that's for him to do. I'm not going to do it for him. I'm not going to enable a perfectly grown adult because then they get used to that. So, no.
That was bad enough, but that isn't the only video she made. Let's take a look at another.
Alright, so Benny Bloop here wants to know what is my purpose. And it's quite simple. My purpose is to be the queen of the castle.
Thankfully, the husband woke up and stopped tolerating that behavior after others called her out for it. But he shouldn't have been in that position to begin with.
Oh, the mindset of today's modern women.
Oh, unless you're offering to pay for the babysitter, I'm not going on that date.
Oh, darling, I have some good news for you and some bad. The good news is you're probably not going to have to worry about going on dates all that often because no self-respecting man is going to ever pay for your babysitter. And that's the good news. The bad news is by making a statement like that, by having an expectation like that, you're proving to every man out there that it's all about the money, that you think you're a princess that deserves to be taken care of. And I have to ask, what are you offering in return?
Don't just assume that I'm going to be able to drop off my child somewhere because most likely I'm not.
Well, I hate to break it to you again, darling, but that's not our problem. That's yours. You should have thought of that before you chose to have the kid and tossed the father aside. Speaking of which, why can't you simply leave him with the dad? Why are you expecting us to pay for a babysitter when there's a perfectly good parent out there that could do it for free?
Offer to pay for the babysitter. That's going to make me more receptive to want to go and spend my time with you.
Or to put it another way, the only way we get to spend time with you is if we exchange money for it. There's a word for that, and it's on the tip of my tongue. It starts with P, but the rest of it's eluding me right now. But this is the mindset of today's modern women. Their time, their attention, and ultimately their affection is not something that they're going to offer of their own free will. And by not offering them of their own free will, they're actually objectifying themselves. And they don't even realize it. They're turning themselves into a commodity, something to be bought and sold. As my dear friend who's an old-school feminist often says, they're destroying decades of work, where women fought to be seen as human beings, not objects. And it also begs the question, one that every man should be asking, which is, what is she offering in return? So far, she hasn't mentioned a damn thing other than her time. Well, I can think of a lot better things that I could get for my money than a few minutes of her time. So as I said earlier, she's got good news and bad news. The good news is she won't have to worry about this problem because the men she actually would want to be with aren't going to want to be with her. And they certainly aren't going to want to pay to take care of her kids. That's her job, not theirs. And the bad news is, ultimately, she's going to end up blaming the men for rejecting her because of her wants, her needs, her desires, and her narcissism. No self-respecting man is going to be interested in a woman like this, no matter how good she looks, how much money she makes, or any of the other stuff that women like to claim makes them attractive. That's the reality, though the ladies will never accept it, which is why instead of acknowledging it and making changes, they do what pretty much every one of today's modern women does. Blame the men for it and absolve themselves of any accountability or responsibility.
I swear to God, if one more woman comes on this app and says what a wonderful, exceptional, phenomenal husband or boyfriend she has, and then describes him as kind, nice, reliable, responsible, cleans, does laundry, helps around the house, is good and kind with his kids, I'm going to
Why are you so mad that women appreciate their husbands?
because you're telling me that this man is considered to be exceptional, you just described a standard, normal human person for doing things all women are doing every single day?
I'm sorry, did you just say all women are doing all of these things every day? Like, I'm sorry, but like Casey Anthony, like Jodi Arias though, like you don't get it because you're hurt and you have core wounds. But for the rest of us, finding a person who's simply trying to be good and that effort makes your life just a little bit easier is exceptional and worth celebrating. And I'm sorry you don't get it.
I have a sneaking suspicion that she's upset that no man is willing to do those things for her. So she takes it out on others to try and make them feel like her.
Y'all want to know how I know that these men, they ain't worth nothing? I'm going on my third date with this girl. And I came into the Kroger because I was like, I'm going to get some wine. I'm going to get her snacks I know she likes. And I was like, let me get flowers. Why not? All of this, $6. The effort is minimal. The bar is on the floor. Like, you're gonna tell me you got money for Rillos? You got money for beer? You got money and time to do everything, but you can't do this? Be so for real. That's why I'm daddy now.
They say this, but ignore the fact that the lesbian divorce rate is twice as high as the normal divorce rate. I wonder if that one is men's fault too.
Women are way less committed to relationships than men. And this is why marriages are falling apart. But we're not allowed to say that. Seatbelts on. Buckle up. I will say it again. Women are less committed to relationships than men. Roughly 70% of divorces are initiated by women. They are willing to throw the towel in sooner. Feminazis will try to convince you that women do this because of men. Because for them, the equation is always men equals evil. Now, imagine if we took men out of the equation entirely. Oh wait, we don't have to imagine that at all. We have that data. We have the divorce rates for lesbian couples. Lesbians have the highest divorce rates in the country. It turns out that if you have twice the women in a relationship, you also have twice the chance of divorce. You couldn't write it if you tried. Oh, there you go.
If you enjoyed this video, I promise you'll enjoy this next video. I will see you there.